Well, hello. I'm Dollie Freeman, and this is the Charlotte Mason Way Show. I'm so excited to be back after quite a long time being out of pocket for various reasons. But today I'm real excited to be back with you all. Does your homeschooling feel like it's struggling right now? And maybe you're just really contemplating changing your curriculum mid-year just to see if it makes a difference? Well, if so, today's episode is right for you, and I hope you stay and interact with me. All right, let's get started by making sure you know that this is an interactive show. I'd love to have your comments. I would love to be able to answer your questions at the end. So let's get started with today's topic. We're going to be talking about, I'm going to put the title in, and I'm going to show it. We're going to be talking about navigating mid-year curriculum changes. This is something that I know quite a few things about. And what's really important is I think this is a timely process, especially since so many people are just starting to homeschool for the first time this year. And in addition to that, they really just aren't very confident in their choices. And this is something that we all can relate to, regardless of how many years we've homeschooled. And what I want to share with you is that over my 21 years of homeschooling, I have found that every homeschooling mom needs a homeschooling process, a curriculum considering process that would help her to be able to navigate not only the year's curriculum, but those mid-year changes and knowing when to pivot. So that's what we're going to be talking about over the next month. So we're going to be really kind of giving you a big picture of the process that you're going to want to be putting in place. And then I'm going to be breaking that up into bite-sized pieces over the next few weeks and then into January. Can you believe it's a new year already? It's so exciting. So I want to start out by sharing a quote with you. And I think it's too big to put in the comments. So I'm going to try to go slow with you on this. But Charlotte Mason, is speaking about mothers. She must ask herself seriously, why must the children learn at all? What should they learn? And how should they learn it? If she takes the trouble to find a definite and thoughtful answer to each of these three queries, she will be in a position to direct her children's studies and will, at the same time, be surprised to find that 3/4 of the time and labor ordinarily spent by a child at his lessons is lost time and wasted energy. I hope you heard me, Charlotte Mason mamas, because that quote should kind of wake you up. Can you tell me if you've ever heard that quote before, if maybe perhaps that's the first time you heard it? I'm going to break this up a little bit because I want to make sure that you guys are getting this, because this is where all of my curriculum process comes into play, not just at the beginning of the year, but any time that I am evaluating our school year's process and I feel as if it needs to have a change. So the first question that Charlotte Mason says that we should be asking ourselves, oh, sorry about that. It's this one, is that why must the children learn at all? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why must the children learn at all? When you stop and ask yourself that question, you're going to find that you're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the curriculum that you're choosing for your family. You're going to be really particular when you ask yourself, why must they learn at all? That particular thing has helped process so many things that I feel really shouldn't be part of a child's education. There's a lot of things out there right now that many of us put into our children's hands before they're ready, before they're needed, and before there's a desire to learn. So it makes our jobs as Charlotte Mason mamas really challenging. So the second part of that quote was, what should they learn? Have you really considered? I know we're in a SOL kind of mindset. We have, we're always thinking the states and local government requirements and trying to figure out what it is that our children should learn. And this is usually what we homeschooling mamas focus on. What should they learn? And then go to that SOL. But actually, that question really relates to a lot of what a child personally should learn. That's where the interest comes in. This is where character and conduct comes in. This is where we are really zoning in on the uniqueness of each child's person. And so the more we ask and meditate on that particular question, the better your homeschool is going to be. I hope this is helping someone, because I know these questions, when I read them in Charlotte Mason's original writings, they popped out to me in a way that's like, oh, this is it. This is what I've been missing. So the third part of that quote is, how should they learn it? So it's the why, the what, and the how. So how should they learn it? And, if you ask most Charlotte Mason educators, they're going to say to you that they should learn it in books. And yes, absolutely, they should learn out of books. That's definitely Charlotte Mason's curriculum, is living books. But if Charlotte Mason were here today in our culture and what we have available to you as a homeschooling mama, she would remind us of what she wrote in her original series, where she talked about oral literature, the ideas that are passed from mind to mind through oral conversations, through things that a child may enjoy on television, where they might actually get something out of a DVD series. They might actually just enjoy getting to know someone who's very knowledgeable about a topic that is interest to them, right? So how should they learn it? We have more at our disposal than just living books, but by all means, it must be living. And I want you to know that everything that a child is put in front of is living, regardless of what it is. It's the results is what decides if it's a wholesome or a twaddle, right? Our children are constantly getting ideas for whatever is put in front of them. If it's twaddle, their behavior and their conduct and character is going to be poor. If you put wholesome things in front of them, their character and conduct will be wholesome. So everything our children have at their disposal is in fact living, because it produces ideas. We just need to be very careful as to making sure they're wholesome. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the processes. That is the foundation of navigating curriculum changes, not just mid-year, but at the start of every new year. You really want to ask yourself those questions. All right, so the first thing that I really want you to start making part of your process of curriculum choices is I want you to pinpoint curriculum challenges. I want you to think, how is your children absorbing it? How are they actually being able to narrate it? How are they actually breeding ideas from it? If you're having challenges with something, chances are a child just doesn't have a relationship with it. And so you want to really take some time and pinpoint what's making those challenges. And then on the other hand, you might have behavior issues. And I'm actually going to tackle this particular topic in detail next week on the Charlotte Mason Show. So I really want you to come back for this, because this is one that I feel if we really take time in here, we would avoid the constant changing of curriculum. And I'm going to tell you, I've made so many mistakes here. And when I focused in on this, it eliminated so much. And my struggling reader was able to finally get a foot up on the challenges that he was struggling with. And so I'm going to talk more about that next week. And so the second part that I want you to really zone in on and get to the point of being able to create this process, this curriculum process within your homeschooling, is that you identify limiting homeschooling mindsets. Now, I'm going to just be honest with you that this particular aspect is something that kind of played a big role in pinpointing curriculum challenges with me because my mindset wasn't right. I was hearing a whole lot of advice, although good intentions were there when this advice is shared online and in relationships and in support groups and all that stuff. But not all advice is right advice. And that's the thing that I really want to hope and to pass on to you today is that you have to identify those limiting homeschooling mindsets that will actually cause more problems than help you. They will actually hinder your process. So what I want you to focus on, I know that I'm going to teach this in 2 weeks and go into greater detail, is that, I want you to think about the stuff that why you think things are a certain way, why you feel you have to do something a certain way in your homeschool, why you have to use a certain curriculum, why you have to teach a certain subject. Ask yourself those deep questions. And it's going to help when you use that quote that I shared with you with those 3 queries and helping yourself process that. Now, let's get into this quote really quick. This one will help you in this process of mindset. So Charlotte Mason says this, but believing that the normal child has powers of mind that fit him to deal with all knowledge proper to him, we must give him a full and generous curriculum, taking care only that the knowledge offered to him is vital. That is, the facts are not presented without their forming ideas. So here's what I want you to understand from this particular quote is that oftentimes our mindsets are that are thinking that our children are not capable of doing something when they actually do have the ability of doing it. And it's oftentimes we are shortcutting our children's possibilities and potential in homeschooling because of our own limiting beliefs of what our children can do. All right, so the third one is a big one. This one is so big that it's going to actually be something that you want to put on your calendar for January. Let me check. January 6th. I cannot believe I'm already talking January 6th. At this time, January 6th, I'm going to be going in details about this one because it's a big one. So you're going to want to show up for that and plan for about 90 minutes because this is a big topic that I want to go deep with you all. So identify hindering habits. There is that H word again, habits, habits, habits. Yes, we all know that Charlotte Mason said how important that formations of habits is education, and education is the formation of habits. It's so true, and it definitely will help you navigate your curriculum changes when you think about the habits that might be playing a role in your homeschooling. So on January 6th, I'm going to be teaching you about 3 hindering habits and what to do to stop doing them. So it's a big topic. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. But this is one that you can be processing, process between now and then and start seeing if you can begin to identify the hindering habits in your home. And then we can talk about it together on January 6th. So there you have it. That's how I, over the time of, just getting into this whole realm of, just navigating the challenges that homeschooling curriculum brings and how important it is to the success of our homeschool. I definitely want to share with you how important it is that you take the time to make sure you understand processes in those decisions that you're making. I don't know why I put it here instead of here. My mind was a little crazy there. So let me show you. that up here. And the link is in the process, in the comments. But this is something that I want to offer to you. If you're brand new to Charlotte Mason, if you're struggling with curriculum, I've created this curriculum guide for you that will walk through, living books and talking to you about how to find them and how to use them and all of those amazing things with it. So I want you to take an opportunity to grab that today and use it to kind of get familiar with, no matter how long you've been with homeschooling. This is a really good resource that will help you. I think it's like 7 pages, something like that, of a pretty quick read for you to understand a curriculum guide, so that if you are in that process of literally making those decisions in your homeschool curriculum, contemplating changes, you will have some guiding directions in your way to help you make the right choices for your family. Are there any questions on today's show that I can answer? So drop them into the actual comments, and I'll grab a few minutes to answer them. Meanwhile, I want to remind you that next week, same time, same place, Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both on Facebook and on YouTube, I will be talking about pinpoint curriculum challenges. So I'm going to walk you through what that looks like, how you can actually identify that with your own family's homeschooling curriculum, and will empower you to be able to really see if the challenge is the curriculum, or if there's other things going on, perhaps habits, and maybe some other things. So you want to make sure you show up live for that next week. Be sure to interact with me. It's an awesome opportunity to tap into my extensive knowledge of not only Charlotte Mason's original writings, but how to implement them into today's homeschool to satisfy those state and local requirements while raising your children from birth to high school with this method to raise them self-educating. So I look forward to next week. Thank you for watching. I look forward to your interaction next time. Until then, bye for now.